No, I keep thinking you say on the Lord, like it's your slang term. You're like
The
picking
Lord.
it up on the Lord. Like, I like it, Chiefs. I'm just saying. So I'm a bit of a noob here. What do you do against an Underlord? How do you make sure that he doesn't do well? Anybody know? Gods, I guess this one's for you.
Big Timbersaw.
Yeah, is that it? That's the answer.
No. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have long drawn out fights. You don't. Agi carries do a lot worse against them because of the aura, since it's like taking away percent of your base damage. So generally, you go for more magic damage type lineups, like Timbersaw Invokers are good, and they ban the Invoker. These are the kind of like the burst damage heroes that can actually blow up an Underlord. I mean, you're going to ban Invoker against Miracle regardless, but it's like the right kind of idea. And you got to just be ready for a team that's going to 5-man around his mech timing, so being able to have some split push in your draft. Split push is good against Underlord even with the Dark Rift, I'd say, just because he wants to be pushing a lane and you just want to go split. Like, you can go split push and force him to use it to defend, so.
Sure. All right. Thanks, buddy. But yeah, they're going to go with a Timbersaw. Great damage against both Underlord and Slardar with that attribute hit. So.
Previous game we saw Freeze having a fairly rough time in the mid lane. He got ganked straight up, 3 versus 1 on his Storm Spirit. Is there any mid hero that you'd want him to go for that will make him a little bit more safe? Because with the Kotal picked up, or that's on Liquid actually, but with the Slardar picked up, that's going to be a support Slardar. He's going to be wanting to take some more farm. He's not going to be babysitting anybody.
Yeah, he's not as worried about ganks because Kotal is picked up though.
Yes,
So
that
last
too.
game it was Rubik Slaughter, 2 heroes that can triple man mid, you know? They can go for that level 1 gank. Kotal is, I mean, you can level 1 gank mid, but you're not going to.
But
It's more
generally
likely you
not,
see
yeah.
that Kotal
Farm.
in the off lane, farming away with an, like, playing that 4 position role, so. We don't know what the Kuro's hero is going to be for the 5 role yet, so there is still potentially some aggression
So
towards
he's already
mid,
a bit more safe.
Yeah, he's safer just by the nature of the Kotal pick.
Sure. Well, 2 respect bands coming out there. Storm Spirit is knocked out, and looks like they don't want to face that Naga again. You called it, Chiefs. Too scary.
Well, yeah, but
They just don't want to be here all day.
Yeah, of course. Who does?
yeah.
Disruptor going to be go ahead and grabbed up there. Not the worst idea for how to deal with the Timbersaw. Drag him back, at
sure.
least tie him down for a little bit.
Also can be very nice against the Keeper of the Light recall, you know.
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
someone in, you say, no, he's
No.
going right back.
Go
You know,
home.
You're not having him for this team fight, so I can certainly look to utilize that against this. And also very, very nice with the Slardar. You know, you have the Amplifier out, you're going to get that vision so you can easily get those long-range glimpses.
That is correct. The favorite thing of any Disruptor. I mean, that range is so huge. All you need is a little bit of
You
vision.
just need to be able to see him.
That's
And a
it.
couple of levels. Does also mean that he is not as great of a ganking hero. He does gank a bit, but I think for Team Liquid, like, they can be a little bit more greedy with their mid right now for Miracle.
That I wonder if.
Hard
I mean,
to
do
know
they
right
maybe?
now where
I wouldn't be
Timber's
surprised
going.
if he just plays Mirana again.
Yeah, Mirana's not bad. I mean, you're a bit prone to the glimpses, but
I guess, yeah.
yeah, it's a more like it is that kind of farming greedier option. Still a big question mark, like where's Timber going? Because that could be the mid hero.
could be the mid.
It could be Marky
Yeah.
plays in the safe lane. Mind control. All 3 core players on Liquid play the Timbersaw. So,
Big question mark.
and you know they typically want to look to get a physical damage partner for the Slardar, and that's why you know you're going to get value out of the Timbersaw and his reactive armor. Perhaps you just use the Slardar as initiation and don't go physical damage because of the Timbersaw, but seems like a bit of a stretch to take that approach.
Well, they definitely take their time for this with this 3rd pick on Team Liquid.
Yeah.
What possible scenarios could they be contemplating? I mean, dealing with the Underlord.
Lion,
And they go for
burst
the
damage,
Lion.
so that's like the. I mean, if you want to kill an Underlord fast, stop him getting that Dark Rift out. Timber, Lion, good heroes to do so.
Bit of a rotating support as well.
It's very, very good as well with the Keeper of the Light. You know, once you get that Ags during the daytime, you're always going to be able to precast the Hex before someone like the Slardar Blink initiates. So the vision game becomes incredibly important for VGJ. You know, when it is daytime and that caller has Ags, it's so hard for them to get that jump in because the Lion's always going to be there to instantly Hex the initiator.
Very
something
quick
that both teams are kind of lacking right now, which we did see previous game, a bit of extra team fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that a worrying thing, or just because one doesn't have it really means that you can also just forgo it in both?
VGJ's team fight's good.
Yeah,
I think
VGJ's
that's
team
fine.
fight is definitely better than
I mean,
Liquid's
Disruptor
right
and
now.
Underlord, that is just a huge amount of
Yeah.
AoE controlling these fights. It allows Ursa to go absolutely ham because suddenly it's very hard for Liquid to kite the Ursa because of the control. that, you know, between a Slardar and an Underlord and Disruptor have. You know, you can hold heroes in position for days.
Does
And
it
if-
cause for worry then?
For Liquid,
Yeah.
potentially, like they either need to round out their draft by trying to match up the team fight a bit or get a bit more team fight themselves, or they're going to have to take some of those greedier farming, split pushing carries. But that's the approach they took last game. They had Mirana and Naga same team and it didn't work out. So I don't know. I'm not sure they'll necessarily be in a rush to go back that direction. And there's like a more, not a team fight hero, but he does give them some initiation. Mind Control plays this Beastmaster very, very well. And it's a good hero to like base a team fight around because he starts the fight for you and then you get that quick pick off and you can have a much easier team fight because of that.
Reveals a bit more about the Timbersaw as well.
Yeah, I'd say, well, I don't know, I guess, yeah, safe lane or mid. Probably
Yeah.
safe. I want to say Matu plays it the most out between them, but
It also depends on where they're expecting that Ursa to go. Because we've seen Ursa as mid, but for all we know, it might be a safe lane one.
yeah, you don't really want the Timber versus Ursa. but-
Exactly. Want to try and dodge it. All right. So both teams seeming to kind of color coded. Tried to ignore it. Sorry, couldn't anymore. But last hero, what do they need? What do they lack in their draft? We already have a bit of push coming out for Beastmaster in a way. Depends on the build, obviously, that he goes for.
Yep.
But maybe lack of push is something that they need to fix.
Yeah, I think they want a mid carry type hero. Shadow Fiend would have been great. TA would have been great. These heroes are both banned out at earlier stages, so Mirana's still an option we saw last game.
Yeah.
I find it a little bit amazing that Ember Spirit's kind of made it this far.
Yeah, that could definitely be an option for Freeze. He plays the hero a lot, but I think both teams want that kind of mid-carry type hero.
I feel Ember and Tinker are the two that kind of scream out
Ooh,
to me.
Tinker.
Tinker is something that VGJ do play with.
Yeah, Tinker's also for Liquid very good with Beastmaster. You can TP on the Hawks, you can use the Hawk Vision, the Coddle Vision, you can use the Coddle Chakra for some extra mana.
Ember and Tinker, I'd like to see. Oh, TB.
Hey,
So
yeah.
it's almost going to be that mid Timber and then Matu TB.
Tinker becomes so appealing as soon as you see that TB. Tinker just wrecks TB.
Yeah, he's played it. He has played it recently. Well, as recent as the officials have been that they've had.
So it does put most likely the Timbersaw mid for the safe lane Terrorblade. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some players like Envy really likes the TB in the mid lane. So there is some flexibility there.
It also depends on where the Ursa's going to go, as you mentioned. If you're Liquid, you want to try and match it up. If Ursa's mid, they might be rotating the Timbersaw mid as well for that. They will think about their last pick, taking their time so far. Anything that stands out for Team Liquid? What are their win conditions, if you will? I know, terms again.
Terms again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to wrap my head around. I've been a little quiet, trying to figure out Team Liquid's draft, and
Okay.
just don't get it. I mean, they got so many guys that can just jump on top of them coming out from VG and blow up supports like Lion and Terrorblade. Disruptor's actually pretty darn good against him, I would say. Just trying to figure out.
Lightning Light's really good against Ursa, though.
I mean,
Their idea is like with the Beastmaster, they jump VGJ before they get jumped. You know, it's like if you're the initiators, it doesn't matter if you're winning the fight. Who cares if there's a glimpse?
you're
'Cause
right.
It's like
It's
glimpse
the-
is useless if you're not running away.
And think about the vision.
the vision
They
game.
got the Hawk. They
Right.
got, well, at some point, I'm going to assume they got Aghanim's Cottle, and in daytime they have the Cottle vision as well.
Okay.
And there's
then
your Ember
there's the
Spirit.
Yeah, I don't think there's a surprise at all. I mean, I said I was more surprised that it got to this point and it was still there. I think that's a really nice way for them to finish off that draft, VGJ.
I want to hear it, you guys. Who's it going to be? Are we going to see Game 3?
I think we have a very good chance to see Game 3, but I have to go with the IG. I mean, I actually.
IG.
IG?
I mean,
VG?
my head is exploding. I do not understand the draft coming out from Liquid. I've been trying to figure it out. So if I don't get it, I don't understand it. I'm going to go with the other team. And there you go.
All right. What do you think, Cody?
I really like what VGJ is doing once again. I think we could be in for a potentially very close game once more.
That's a
But
bit
I feel like
shorter?
I'm going to say it could be another long one.
All right.
Because Matu has this way, he's very good at keeping the game going, you know, because he never really gets kind of put down in farm. He'll always be able to find that space and be able to prolong the game. And, you know, Terrorblade's kind of similar to the Nagasaren in that sense. You can keep the game going. But I like what VGJ is doing. I think the Ember Spirit's a fantastic final pick.
All right, gods.
I think I have enough faith in Mind Control's Beastmaster. I think he's playing that key hero that needs to do incredibly well this game, be effective in initiating the vision game. So I'll go with Liquid on game 2.
All right, we have a bit of a split panel here. We're going to find out what's going to happen in this second game as we head over to Lyrical and Merlini.
Hello and welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for game number 2. It's, well, not IG, but it's Vici J facing off against Team Liquid.
What's wrong with you, Slack?
Anyways,
What is wrong with you?
We're hopping right into it right now. You can see the close-up of Mr. Miracle as well, playing on the Terrorblade. Interestingly enough, it's Miracle on the Terrorblade. Any thoughts or feelings about this right now?
I mean, he's played it before.
Yeah.
He's played it a few times, actually. Not terribly surprised. I haven't seen him play Timbersaw too much, but I think he plays both of those. I think he does okay in the mid versus Ember Spirit. I think I would have preferred the Tinker over the Ember Spirit, just because I think it's a lot better matchup versus the Terrorblade, and there's a lot more lockdown to actually catch the Ember Spirit with like the Lion and the Beastmaster and whatnot. But I think it does give them a lot more early game prowess.
Yeah. I will also mention that, you know, maybe a little bit of hero comfort plays into this as well. Freeze, as was mentioned on the panel. This is like the quintessential lineup that we saw Vici J win with throughout the qualifiers. Like Underlord, ROTK, Freeze playing Ember, just run around the map,
lane
find
switching
kills.
going on right now.
Oh my goodness.
They try to get the Liquid tried to get the top room, but then they saw Ursa there. And now that they saw Ursa there, Brown on the minimap is Timbersaw. His arrow is going to the bottom right because you do not want that matchup if you're Liquid. Timbersaw versus Ursa is probably the worst one-on-one that you can ask for as a Timbersaw, I think. Very likely the worst.
A good thing to mention, too, this is a lineup that we've seen them be willing to switch up the lanes to make sure that they get the lane matchup that they want.
Dude, what is this dire courier?
That thing is insane. I don't know. We're not going to be able to see it.
If
on
you're
the thing,
following
probably.
me in Dota TV, you can check out this courier. But what on earth? I don't know what this is.
It looks like an octopus. That's what I'll say. This matchup, though, on the other hand, is we go back to the game of Tubboman versus ROTK, the Underlord versus Timbersaw matchup. It always feels like it's so frustrating to play against as the Underlord, and taking a lot of damage. Matumbaman even thinking about diving this one a bit. They draw first blood. Well played by Liquid.
Yep, Strength Hero versus Timbersaw. He accidentally uses TP on Matumbaman, but he just wanted to pop his Clarity and his Salve and his Tingo. That's a lot of consumables going on at once.
Uh-oh. Well, not going to have that, you guys can see, but, well, now they bring down the Ursa, and this is what I was talking about, a little bit of musical lanes going on, making sure that they get the matchup that they want consistently. Aggressive is going to continue to chase Matumbaman. Without that TP, suddenly, you're stuck here for a little while.
He's fine, though. Here he got the first blood, and he has a keeper in lane, and they were able to make that side pull. So there's a lot of things going well for Matumbaman in this matchup that is not going to be the super struggling Ursa matchup that you dread. And that is an Ursa with an Alpine set.
The little cowboy hat is always a pleasure to look at.
Indiana Jones is what they call it.
Okay, I like it.
It is.
The Stevie Ray Vaughan Bounty Hunter is my favorite. That's a good one.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know this? All right, you're dead to me.
Who is that?
He's a guitar player. He's amazing. He's great. Matumbaman taking some damage down here in the bottom lane as well. And it does feel like this lane is going to be at least a little bit sketchy. The Disruptor here is going to get ran upon. Wasn't quite able to find that kill, but the Chakram, they're going to have the double in just a second here. They find that kill as well. Could pop the mango turn, but Matumbaman doesn't want to press it.
Aggressive is going to have a lot of trouble staying in this lane now because they've given up 2 kills, and now Keeper is at that very high level. Oh, he still had those stacks. He had 7 stacks on before. Okay. I thought it was going to be tough for him, but Matumbaman was just a little bit too up in his face.
Man, that's one of those moments where it's just on a hair's edge if you were going to be able to do it. I think the stacks were just about to wear off when Aggressive found it.
I think so.
So what was a really great start to the laning stage, a little bit unfortunate now. And, well, Matumbaman back in a flash, ready to go after ROTK again, and should be able to run him down here. He has another Whirling Death, another punch, but they don't want to dive too much further.
Only level 1 reactive, so it would have been quite painful for him to tank that T1 tower. Terrorblade versus Ember is probably the quietest lane in the game that we've seen this game. Terrorblade is one of the most common pickups versus Slardar, just because he has such high armor, you can kind of shrug off the Amplify, and also Slaughter deals very poorly with the illusions from Terrorblade. So I think overall it's a very Terrorblade favored matchup, at least in that mid game, but in this early game, Ember Spirit causing Miracle a little bit of trouble, but Freeze is actually doing quite well in terms of CS. He gets a salve canceled,
And now with
but maybe it's just a bait.
definitely a possibility. FY here as well as the Disruptor. Don't know how many points he has in Glimpse yet, so it might be a little bit tough to find that kill. But
He has 1 point.
Nighttime falling.
He needs to get the chains on him.
All right, looking for a Miracle.
Oh,
Is not going to
my.
find it. Crush is still there, and they're going to be in range with the Glimpse. They pull him back in, but Miracle is still very tanky. The Kinetic Field's going to hold him in place for just a moment, and damage is going to be enough to find that kill. Freeze now also trying to get out and away. The Fairy Fire popped, and Freeze will live at least for now. Mind Control not able to get there quick enough.
That one level of Conjure Image to tank that Searing Chains, that would have been just a super quick and easy death, but he did get slightly lucky with the RNG, and they will have to shrine up in the meantime.
Oh, my goodness. Very low there from Matumbaman. He's going to TP back out and away as well. So one thing that we didn't really get to mention a ton is that this Coddle has basically been soloing the bottom lane since Matumbaman left, and this has allowed the Beastmaster to get a ton in the jungle as Miracle, again, going to be in trouble. This time he does get hit by the chain, so a little bit of the chain feed coming in right now as Miracle drops again in the mid lane.
I see what you did there.
What's that?
Oh, you said chain feed.
Oh, yeah.
From Searing Chains.
I didn't do that. No, it just happened. But nonetheless, well, Vici J looking pretty good. You look across all the lanes, they're leading in CS. The big thing, though, again, is that Beastmaster in the jungle. Basically got whenever he wanted.
He was forced to come in mid a couple of times, though. Not ideal. You want to hit like level 6 in 5 minutes, get a smoke, and then go kill someone. But not as easy when your mid lane is getting crushed.
Well, and FY is going to be able to sprint away from that one, too. So Mind Control can't quite finish it off there. And another Chains mid lane.
He has 3 remnants.
Really low Kuro there as well, though. It might have been able to punish Freeze enough to find the kill. And the salve up should secure his survival here.
Terribly doesn't even have boots.
It's not been a good one. ROTK trying to get out and away. Oh, he's not going to do it, though. Matumbaman finds that kill.
Easy.
Yeah, nicely done, but how aggressive. Also getting a little bit upset at the situation. Just going to come over and hit him a bit. So it feels like it's just been a very punchy game so far. Everybody running back and forth across the map, trying to find pickoffs, early rotations for kills. And now Kuroki going to steal a bounty rune away from FY. Is there a point where it sort of settles down a little bit more, or do we start to see some of the 5-man, or do you expect a 5-man from Vici?
I think it's going to get more crazy. Once
Right.
Beastmaster hits 6, I mean, he just hit 6. He doesn't have a smoke. Is he going for, oh, I thought he was going for Midas. Oh, no, he's going for Helmet Dominator. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to get crazier. Ursa is going to have Roshan potential very, very soon. Beastmaster just hit level 6, so you're going to start seeing people getting roared.
There it is, the Chakram that comes through as well. Ulti not going to be there from Aggressive to save his life, so he does eventually get brought down. Pretty nice.
That was easy.
That was easy. Is Freeze going in again on Miracle? He chains him, and, well, you mentioned the Remnants. He's got 3 of them ready to go if he wants to make it happen. Jump forward. No problem for Freeze.
That was easy. Actually, not that easy. He made it look easy. Well played, sir. Well played. But now he's going to have to foot it home because he doesn't have an active Fire Remnant back. But that's okay.
Now, ROTK here might end up going down. Matumbaman in his face, and the Chakram, a quick kill. That's a killing spree for Matumbaman, who's had a very good game so far for himself.
Poor ROTK.
I mean,
he doesn't actually have at 1 point in pit.
he also, I mean, that being said, he's been able to get a lot of farm out of this off lane. He's sitting at 4th in net worth right now.
Yeah, he has actually spent all his gold, I think, most of the times before he's died. So that's, yeah, that's been pretty good for him.
FY, a little bit off the mark there with the crush, and GH is going to be glimpsed back. Kinetic Field, full ulti committed. GH is like, see you later. Never mind, he's gone. Wanted to try the TP out, but they had the crush again in time.
That's some hate.
That was a lot of hate.
It is a level 7 keeper, so I actually think that's definitely worth it for them. And ROTK trying to,
They find him over here again. Kuro trying to get away. He goes for the remnant forward, tries to dodge, Earth Spike to back out, but he's gone.
Easy kill. Yeah, he's pretty good with Ember.
See,
That's
think,
a 0.
I think that they just felt like it was more a comfort thing. I agree, though, that Tinker, like, how much do you lose by not having that Tinker against the Terrorblade? Does Ember,
When he's getting destroyed in mid, not that much.
Okay. And in later game, is it still a hero that counters them fairly well? Or
As long as the Ember gets Maelstrom in time and a reasonable okay time, then I think it's fine. I think a lot of this depends on Roshan though, because Ursa's died a few times, as has Underlords, that a Timbersaw is going to be pretty fed, and I think he can kind of be up in their face. They also have the Hawk to scout out the Roche, so the game might devolve into Roshan wars quite quickly, especially if this T1 falls on top. Yeah.
well, is there a team that you're feeling like is a little bit more happy with the
Mind control wrapping around from behind. He does not have a Helmet Dominator creep quite yet, but aggressive is in the trees. The Hawk is not needed because they do have an Observer Ward over there, and that was a little close.
Yeah, they thought about going for it. Instead, it looks like they're sort of setting up on the bottom lane for the push-in that could have come from the Coddle. And now the smoke moving over towards the mid lane, I guess. It feels like neither team has really gotten the most out of these rotations as of yet. I mean, it's still been 11 kills in under 10 minutes. It's been a very active game.
Fenrir's going for a kill on Matumba, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. They brought Freeze in as well, and he smoked, but he moved towards mid. So
One creep till 6.
might be able to do it. Jump in. They've been on to Kuro trying to force out a rotation, and they will do that. They can still go up in the top lane if they want, but they've now caught Matumba, man. So well, they're not going to be able to find a kill either mid or in the top.
A little bit of a slow TP coming in from the Underlord. He needed that root like during the disable, so he could actually get a little bit more damage afterwards. Miracle working on those Ancients right now with Mind Control and that max Inner Beast. Actually, only level 3 Inner Beast, but almost max. They have a lot of right click.
FY in the mid lane does not have level 6 as of yet, but they are going to be able to get the crush to start the fight off. Freeze dealing some damage as well. Chains is there. Curl looking for the counterplay. He's going to get a good Earth Spike, but the kill was already there. And just another one for Vici J. They've, some of the rotations have ended up working out.
Bore down. They still have Finger, so they have to play a little bit carefully up here.
Do you like the Helm of the Dominator build on the Beastmaster? Is that sort of the way that you feel like he should be played nowadays?
Yep, I like it. I think like Necro 1's just not that strong. I think that Helm of the Dominator just gives your team a lot better fight. And there's also like every time you get Necro, there's like this big window in between your Necro cooldowns. But with Helm of the Dominator, you can always have a creep pretty much. And also, I think it just synergizes really well with what he provides. He's like a team fight hero that provides a lot of auras and has a lot of summons that are just mega annoying. And it's also more flexible because Necro, you get the same 2 creeps every single time. Helm of the Dominator, you can get whatever you want.
Well, and now you also can finish off and pick up a kill there. So the Helm of the Dominator didn't really do much with that, but they still managed to find that one. And now with the ice armor, they can take the tower down. I mean, all the heroes here anyways, it would have gone down regardless.
The regen is also very underestimated. 8 a second is ridiculous. It's like, a lot of times you need an earn so you can continue pushing, but with the Helm of the Dominator, you don't actually need it anymore.
So ROTK in the mid lane. The rest of his team is sort of behind him here. We might see some recall plays in from GH if they wanted to defend it, but it looks like, at least for now, they're going to push out the bottom lane and then all rotate towards the mid. I kind of want to see, a lot of the times when it's been Vici J winning with this type of a draft, it's been off the back of pushing a tower and then dark rifting in.
Sneaking a Roche.
Yeah, and like taking these objectives consistently. So I'm expecting after this them to go for some more 5-man strats. Well, Pit of Malice down, the jump forward Remnant able to catch on to GH, but he's already gone back out and away. And
not respecting Glimpse.
now
He would have been okay, I think, for both times that he died had there not been a Glimpse in the game.
oh, and there's the Dark Rift. Going to pull in 3 with it, and they're going down bottom, but won't be able to catch out anybody there.
Dark Rift into like a Glimpse catch is actually kind of cool combo. As well as Kinetic Field plus Pit of Malice. Oh.
Yeah, those heroes just synergize quite well together.
Yep. To be fair, Pit Lord kind of synergizes well with most heroes.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, with stun? Okay, I'm just going to root you for like 8 seconds.
Well, and granted, the other thing is that he also is going to be starting to do a ton with that Atrophy aura. You think about Terrorblade, it's the base reduction. That's so much damage reduction against the TV, but the jump in, the catch, they have the Kinetic Field down, and, well, the Roar as well. He is going to drop. They find that. But the Glimpse trying to pull him in. FY, nice chains away by Matumba.
Yeah, Pit Lord has died a lot. He is still managing to pick up items despite his massive amounts of deaths in this game. And Ursa hasn't really been able to get involved. And you can tell that Liquid just don't really want to fight him. Terrorblade's just been constantly jungling. They've been shifting lanes around so that Ursa hasn't been able to capitalize on his strong laning phase. And it's kind of up to Ember Spirit to catch the heroes that don't want to be caught.
And we do still have the, Coddle and the Beastmaster helping to facilitate all this movement around the vision that you get there as well, to allow the heavy hitters from Liquid to hopefully get into position. But it looks like now the Invis rune from Ursa, hoping to find somebody. Doesn't look like he'll be able to catch.
They're going to see this blast, though, so he's going to head around, try and circle around the Keeper, perhaps.
He's just going to back out there for the moment, though. Liquid.
They're just trying to farm up, get to this point where Terrorblade's going to be so big, because they don't have the best heroes to instantly kill his illusions. They have, Firestorms, quite a long cooldown. Ember Spirit doesn't have Maelstrom yet, and all the other heroes are just not very good at dealing with the Terrorblade. So once Terrorblade gets Manta plus Lance / Pike. Ooh.
Oh! That would have been a nice pickup for them.
That would have been a nice pickup, but they're wasting a lot of time. And Terrorblade has had uninterrupted jungle farming for the last, 7, 8 minutes, I would say. And I think it's just going to keep on continuing. Keeper, once he gets Ags, it's going to be even more annoying. And then they have the Hawk. And at the same time, they're also pressuring towers and just getting away with free damage on the T2s, where Ursa, yeah, he has an Aegis and he's very strong, but he can't catch anyone.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, this lineup here, and you think about Blinding Light a little bit later on as well. In the midst of those fights, you just push back that Ursa. I mean, is this a game where he's going to need to pick up a BKB and an Aghanims potentially, or what are your thoughts on that?
I do like BKB and Ags, but at the same time, I think he needs Basher as well, so he can actually kill a hero like Timbersaw.
It's kind of the problem with the hero in general, I guess. A bit tough to make it work. Haste Rune could certainly help, but it looks like GH is going to take that and just run away on his little pony.
He just sees all these heroes and he just can't kill them. Sad life for Big Bear. Now they really want to force something. They're like, we have Aegis, we haven't been able to catch anyone, let's push them towers, so perhaps they'll fight us. Perhaps being the key word here.
I mean, like you mentioned, it feels like it has to be that glimpse to pull somebody back in and get them under control with the kinetic field. But even that, it sort of relies upon Liquid being out of position to begin with, which they just haven't really been. They're playing around it pretty well since those first couple of kills. Maybe an ROTK Dark Rift to the bottom lane as this tower ends up falling to try and jump on him. And it looks like that's what they're going to go for here. And Freeze can potentially catch, and looks like they're going to jump in with the rest of them. Cancels it at the last second. FY is left alone now, and well, the jump in, they've caught out two. They decide to turn the fight towards the mid lane. Curl and Mateba Man go down.
FY doesn't even die.
Wow. What a play. That was really good. The fake back, and now they're getting ready to assault high ground.
Oh, this is exactly what they're looking for. Terrorblade is not nearly strong enough to actually defend this, and he doesn't even have a TP scroll.
No, they canceled the TP. That's what that was. That was that jump in there.
I thought they were actually trying to...
Oh, and kinetic field now as well. They're going to be able to take down
They
GH.
got that big hero.
All right. And that's your high ground holder.
He also popped his ultimate and wasn't able to recall anyone, too. So, yeah. I thought they were trying to set up with the stun on the button. Were they trying to set up, or they were trying to cancel TPs?
I didn't see if they got the stun on it or not, but it does look like, at the very least, by the end of it, he didn't have a TP. So I'm assuming it must have been. Like, you don't go down there without a TP, I'm sure.
He might have TP'd somewhere else, and then he might have gotten recalled. I'm pretty sure he got recalled on there, but regardless, Vici make a lot happen with a fake Dark Rift.
Yeah. They didn't end up taking the tower, of course. Brought it down fairly low, but it's a scary moment, and it feels like they're definitely getting the better in these engagements. You look at the net worth across the board, and they're up at the top 3 of the top 4. And this is a lineup that can snowball if they're given this type of a lead.
Yeah, once you get Greaves and Pipe on the Underlord, you can actually deal with Keeper super easily. You Pipe, if you get Mana Leak, you just Greaves it off, no problem. And you can just kind of assault the high ground, but there is still a large amount of AoE aside from that to kind of deep push, mostly from the Timbersaw, who is still currently working on his Bloodstone.
Radiant's middle tower
That's a sad life as well. I mean, the hood, it's such a great item in this game as well, but it's sort of one of those moments where you'd love to be able to get that mana regen, just farm up across the map easier, and gotta stay alive, though.
Gotta stay alive. And he has the keeper for mana. And looks like GH is still working for his axe. He did go for a 4-staff first, perhaps to save himself from the Ursa or from the Ember Spirit, but will not save him from Glimpse, and GH is in a very precarious position.
To back out a little bit.
Fenrir is going to look for him. Is he going to be able to find GH in time before he TPs out? GH throws out one more Illuminate, and Fenrir will not be able to find him.
Yeah. Well, he's sticking around again, but does look like he's finally heading out. So it feels like, again, Vici J, they've got the Aegis finally gone. What's the big play? Can they make stuff happen without Roshan there? As we hear another Dark Rift.
They could take down T2s.
Okay.
But they can't push high ground without Aegis. I think that's way too risky.
It does look like they're going to be pressuring towards this top lane. And Liquid, do you think that they feel comfortable just laying these falls and keep on farming away on your Terrorblade?
At the minimum, he needs Manta style, and he is 500 gold away. So like that's the bare minimum I think that he needs to fight Manta and Dragonlance. Manta is just incredibly good for your damage output, having those meta delusions around you.
God, look at GH. He's just stayed there the whole time and keeps on spamming out the Illuminate. Nobody's going to deal with them, but they still take the
tower.
2-2.
Yeah. So he will have Ags and 1,200 gold. Will he be able to have that on the high ground push that might come with the Roche? Let's see what Roche respawn is going to be. 2 minutes, 21 seconds.
Okay.
It's fairly long. Ursa's going for Dezo too, so he's all in for the damage. And great for the siege, great synergy with Amplify. Not the best at dealing with Terrorblade illusions though. So it's good if they want to push early, it's bad if this gets much later.
Or if he gets like roared or something, I feel like it's pretty bold to just go straight for that. It's like relying so
They're
much
not
on
fighting,
Aegis. Yeah, I guess that's true. So in response to that for Liquid, is it just like jump in blinding light the Ursa and
Blinding Light isn't terribly reliable because he can rage it off.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So it's mostly just don't let it get to the point where they can actually push high ground. So keep wasting time, keep split pushing with the Keeper, keep bringing around people with the Recall, keep scouting out with the Terrorblade illusions and the Beastmaster summons. Just keep on stalling. It's kind of like the Naga game, except they don't have a Naga this time. They have a Terrorblade who is much better come team fights later into the game.
GH has just lived up here, and he doesn't show any signs of leaving, really. Well, okay, there we go. That's great. Goes for the TP immediately.
That's great. No signs.
No signs of leaving at all, clearly. But now...
He didn't even finish Greaves, actually, on Underlord. It's very unusual. Plate Mail could be the rest of his pipe. It could be a Greaves, pretty much, but instead he's going to go for... I actually don't know what he's going to go for with that. Shivas?
Just 4-staff?
Casual?
I don't mean...
The Plate Mail?
I was talking about... I thought that they were going for a fight there, but GH 4-staffed away.
He's just being annoying. But, I mean, big bad ROTK's in front with a hood, so he doesn't really care about Illuminate.
They're setting up on him, though. Trying to go in. The show, at least for the moment, from Matumba Man, but Mind Control has now shown up. They throw out the big ulti. There's the roar onto ROTK. He is already enraged, though, but there's the damage. They have enough to take him down, and Fenrir also gone. GH is going to follow the freeze, but Matumba Man is just a monster in these fights, and looks like Fenrir is kind of stuck here for the moment. They're going to run into a miracle. The right clicks come through, and, well, sleight of fist, but he's gone. 4 dead for Vici J.
That 4-staff from Keeper at the start, that's what won them the fight. He pushed the Timbersaw outside of the kinetic field in the Static Storm so that he could actually get his damage off. And the roar on Ursa, he gets disabled during his ultimate, so he doesn't do any damage. I actually don't know where Ember was at the start of the fight. Maybe he was like buying his Blink Dagger or something like that, but he was not able to damage. And of course, Miracle just came from the side. Okay, I have Meta, I have Manta, and he just chopped down everyone.
Well,
very quickly.
At Matumba Man now, he's got 16 Bloodstone charges on top of the hood. So suddenly this hero that was kind of struggling for farm before is just tremendously farmed now. And Well, the jump in, the blink, they're trying to take him down. Matumba Man is going to be able to back out, at least for the moment, and the glimpse to pull him back in a lot of trouble, but still able to back out. Is going to maybe have to suicide here. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's still surviving through all of it. The reactive armor, and now aggressive is gone. They're not going to be able to bring him down. Oh, wow, the Hex, freeze controlled and maybe going to be killed off as well. They take him down, 3 gone, trying to Dark Rift out. Matumba lived through all of that.
Yeah, he is incredibly tanky right now, and I think they're just going to go for Roshan, and now, I mean, the keep away game has been played to perfection by Liquid up until this point where they actually want to fight. Now that they know that Miracle is actually big and bad, and he's actually going to have a Scotty quite soon, which was kind of incredible considering his early game deaths.
Oh my God, look at GH here in the mid lane, just being a menace right now to ROTK.
I actually think he's been playing the best out of anyone on Liquid in this early game. He's kind of just like, yeah, he's dying, but I don't even know if he's dying.
Oh my God, GH! Have mercy. The 4 staff away, everything thrown out. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, you can tell why Keeper is very first pick material for both of these teams.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
I was. Like, Keeper's just like, yeah, you can jump me if you want, but...
4 staff, blinding light, and now you got the heals coming in for the team.
Yeah, this game's looking to be over quite soon.
No way to stop it. Yeah, there's just so much. And before, when they jump on Matumba Man before, like, now he's got the heals, it's daytime, everything else working out for him. They are going to throw out a good bit of damage from aggressive, trying to take down Matumba Man, but it barely brings him down to a quarter HP, and now he'll back up to full. ROTK just forced to back away, and, well, there's going to be the last whirling death. The racks go down, and potentially the dreams of Vici or the clean sweep. This is looking like it's going to go to a game 3 unless something changes rather rapidly.
Yep, they have the Keeper Ags, it's daytime, everyone's getting healed up. They have the Aegis on Terrorblade. The only thing that's really stopping them is Meta, but Meta's still has a good 5 seconds left, and I think that might be enough for them to take down this melee Rax.
No buyback on ROTK. It's going to be really hard for them to chase too much further. The roar comes out. Ursa's controlled and maybe going to be killed off. They get up a pretty good static storm, but aggressive's already gone. FY as well, fingered to death, and everything else thrown out against them. GG gets called 26 minutes in. Liquid are going to force it to a game number 3.
That is how you waste a team's time. Okay, that is how you play Keeper and just play keep away with Keeper. Like they could not push. They couldn't catch him. They couldn't really do any significant damage. He just stalled out so long. And you have to bypass the Keeper to be able to get to the towers, to be able to get to the jungle. And they weren't even able to get past that first phase. And like that's kind of an Ursa's worst nightmare. Like you want to fight all the time, but no one is really letting you catch them at all. Like even for the laning phase, he couldn't even find the matchup that he wanted.
No. Well, that is going to be it for game number 2. I got to say, Vici, that was the lineup that they ran throughout the qualifiers. It was the exact style of Dota they like to play, and they ended up being able to beat it. Liquid did. And you think about the first game, the Naga Siren as well, being able to go really late game. If you're Vici and Liquid, which of those drafts are you going to try and emulate more for each of the teams? Like, are you going back to what worked in the first game for Vici?
I think a lot of it had to do with the Ember pick over to Tinker, because they had no solution to the Terrorblade, and it was kind of like revealed what they were going to do with the Terrorblade. And Terrorblade has to be addressed in some manner, and usually it's a good way to deal with the illusions. And the Ember, I don't think had that big of an impact past the laning phase, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's an overall hero pick. I think it was all just that single one. It's like if you play Ember, you have to steamroll them really hard in the early game. If you have Tinker, you don't have to steamroll them as hard, but you have a failsafe versus the Terrorblade, and they didn't have a good way to deal with them at all. I mean, the Dezo 2 on the Ursa is a lot of small things. They just did not address the issues. Like, oh yeah, out of sight, out of mind, he's in the jungle farming, he's not going to be a problem, is he? Boom, okay, we lost. That's
pretty much how it felt. So that's going to do it for game number 2. We're going to be back in just a little bit for game number 3. It's, of course, Vici facing off against Liquid, our first series of the day.
Or according to Slack's IG.
I was just going to let it go, but we could keep holding that over to him all day. I like that.
Yeah,
idea.
nice.
Definitely.
Nice.
But stay tuned, everybody. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back for game number 3.
Bets, online betting for every esports fan.